It was clearly only the first day of dating, yet that very night, the school's most popular girl secretly went to a convenience store and bought condoms. She just hoped that day would come as soon as possible, because whenever she was alone with Jack, the image of Mia kissing him would flash before her eyes, driving her completely out of control. Desperate to take things a step further, she rushed into a shop.
早く夏休みにならないかな。
This man was unbelievably lucky. Since the age of 6, he had a Yandere stepsister who grew up with him. If he wasn't careful, she would suddenly attack him, often kissing him until he nearly passed out. On top of that, he also had a biological sister with extreme possessiveness. Their relationship had long since crossed the line, and she could always find ways to prevent Jack from getting close to other girls. Their parents had passed away 2 years ago. Now, Jack lived alone with his sister. Just last month, they moved to the suburban outskirts of Tokyo to live at their aunt's house. Because Jack doted on his sister too much, as long as she told him not to go to club activities, he would cancel everything after school and go straight home. This made him famous at school for being a sister lover. Luckily, his classmates understood how close the siblings were, and even thought his devotion to family was cool. At that moment, a classmate named Luna came to him and asked if he could attend an emergency committee meeting. As expected, in order to keep his promise to his sister, Jack could only turn her down. The considerate Luna said she completely understood. After all, her house wasn't far from Jack's, and she would personally bring him the meeting materials later.
頑張ってね、お兄さん。
Even though his sister was already 10 years old, she still clung to Jack to help her get dressed and brush her hair, and even claimed she couldn't live without him. With only the two of them left in the family, Jack ultimately couldn't bring himself to be firm, and continued to indulge her. As for their aunt, although she looked like a young girl, she was actually a 28-year-old woman. Her personality was a bit odd, and she liked speaking in sarcasm, but she had always taken good care of the siblings. Every month, she sent them living expenses on time, and this time she even sent extra money. Remembering that last month had been the sister's birthday, she never mentioned what kind of work she did, and spent every day locked in her bedroom. The villa itself belonged to her, making the aunt a mysterious wealthy woman. On the way to school, the siblings walked together. Jack promised his sister that after school they would go to the shopping district to buy a belated birthday gift. Suddenly, footsteps came from behind them. Jack's expression darkened instantly, his fingers trembling uncontrollably. He sternly told his confused sister that she must go straight home after school. During the break, his close friend told him that a new transfer student had arrived in the neighboring class. Her name was Jenny. The moment Jack heard this, a chill ran down his spine. He just wanted to rush out of the school gate immediately. At that moment, a blonde girl who had been following him for a long time suddenly called out to him, but Jack kept his mouth shut, pretending he hadn't heard anything, no matter how many times she called his name.
なんだよ、畑荒らせ。
覚えててくれた。嬉しい。
They had been childhood friends. Left with no choice, Jack admitted that he had already noticed her tailing him that morning. Jenny then said she had been secretly following him since her first day transferring. This made Jack even more uneasy. All he knew was that 6 years ago, Jenny had destroyed his family's farmland, and she still hadn't let it go. Blushing, Jenny said she wanted to talk to him. Sensing something was wrong, Jack immediately walked away. Jenny muttered in dissatisfaction, saying Jack used to be so considerate toward her. As soon as she said that, Jack responded that Jenny had suddenly left back then, without ever saying a word to him. The story went back 6 years. Jack's family was still living in Shinshu at the time. One day, he met Jenny in his family's fields. The two quickly became inseparable. But just as the crops were about to mature, Jack suddenly discovered that all the harvest had been ruined. He also saw Jenny, covered in mud, holding a hoe in her hands. From that day on, Jenny vanished without a trace.
聞いてくれるまで離さない。
分かったか、一回離せ。折れる。
On the way home, Jack's sister saw a happy family working together in their field, and couldn't help recalling the days when their own family used to laugh and talk together. At that moment, Jack, who was fleeing, suddenly grabbed her and pulled her away. Since Jack claimed he didn't know Jenny, his sister never questioned who the girl was. After returning home, the excited sister said she wanted a piece of land, so she and her brother could grow vegetables together. Hearing this, Jack helplessly explained that he couldn't afford to buy land, and couldn't even afford to rent any. At this critical moment, their aunt mentioned there was an unused yard behind the house. She didn't have time to take care of it anyway.
ボーボーだけどな。
いや、でも
子供の遠慮うざっ。
The two went to the backyard, which was indeed overgrown with weeds. Just as Jack was about to cheer his sister up and start working hard, Jenny suddenly appeared, carrying a hoe. She once again insisted she had something to say to Jack, but staring at the hoe in her hands, Jack didn't believe her at all. He sternly ordered her to leave, saying that, although he didn't know why she held such resentment toward him, she should stop disturbing the peaceful life he and his sister were living. Those words deeply hurt Jenny. Since Jack refused to listen to any explanation, she decided to prove it through action. She suddenly stepped forward and fiercely kissed him. This shocking scene was witnessed by Luna, who had just arrived to deliver the meeting notes, Jenny kissed him more and more intensely. Jack, who had been momentarily swept away, suddenly struggled to breathe, and in less than 30 seconds, he became dizzy from lack of oxygen.
チューするって結構苦しいんだね。あれ？ナオくん？ナオくん。
あれ俺庭で窒息して